What a performance. What a way to crown off a special tournament for Spain. That right there is the single most dominant performance in a final of any sort, international, club, regardless. The most single dominant performance by a team I have ever seen. And I say that as someone who, as a Man United fan, watched my team get played off the park on 2 separate occasions in 3 years to Barca. Today actually made those games look competitive in hindsight. Spain gave nothing to the opposition, as they've done practically all tournament long. But to do it on the final stage, the World Cup final, against the reigning champions, against the #1 ranked team in the FIFA World Rankings, against a side that they themselves have battled so much adversity and always give you a fight, the way they killed Argentina's fight from minute 1 to minute 120 is something that we will talk about for years and years to come. Now, the game as a whole is hardly a classic. The game as a whole is one of the worst World Cup finals I have ever seen because, quite frankly, it was one team looking to play and the other team looking to fight. Argentina offered you absolutely nothing in this game. Nothing. All they offered you was fighting. All they offered you was last-ditch tackles. All they offered you was just giving the ball back to Spain over and over and over again. And all they offered you at the end was a bunch of lousy sportsmanship from the likes of Paredes. Enzo Fernandez picking up a red card. How the two of them didn't get red cards earlier in this game, I will never know. But the fact that both of them got sent off, good. Because there is no place on a football pitch for what we saw from Argentina today. I feel like I'm just saying the same thing that I said when France beat Paraguay. Only one team looked to play. And I'm sorry, when that happens, I will always gravitate towards the better footballing team. I'm not trying to see what I saw today from Argentina. I'm not trying to see what I saw from Paraguay. And the problem is, neither is the whole world. Argentina, I think, have embarrassed themselves in front of everybody today because that kind of performance and behavior during and after the game is simply unacceptable. But Spain kept their composure, kept their class, kept their wits, and just kept hammering away at it. Because for a while, it did feel like, oh my goodness, Argentina are not in this game whatsoever from an attacking point of view. But man, they just keep Spain out over and over and over. And Spain did what Spain do, right? They kept the ball, they kept it some more, and they kept it some more. And that's the beauty of Spain's system. It might not be the most fun football to watch all the time, right? But my goodness, is it effective? And at the moment, I don't see how a team stops them. Spain look a different level to any international team out there right now. What they have done in 2 games against last tournament's World Cup finalists is, I honestly think, a little underrated. 4 years ago, we watched Argentina and France, clearly the 2 best teams in the world, go at it in the best final we have probably ever seen at a World Cup. And Spain took them on in a semi-final and a final and genuinely made it a non-contest. Neither of those 2 teams could even lay a glove on Spain. That tells you something, man. That tells you something. And the craziest thing about Spain is that their best player, and Yamal, had an average tournament for me. I thought he had an average tournament throughout. Yes, there were moments, but Yamal didn't give you his best. Nico Williams of a tournament ago was a bit part player. Oyarzabal, their top scorer, he's not what you would consider the biggest name striker on the planet when you look at the Haalands and the Mbappes and the Kanes. So you look at the Spain team and you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, they might even have a level to go after this. But even in their current setup, even in their current state with what they had available to them, Alex Baena playing at left wing, no team could even get close to them. We are currently living and breathing in a Spanish dynasty. And I know a few videos ago I talked about France and what they had kind of done over the last 8 years and where they looked like they were heading. And I don't think anything I really said in that was wrong, and I still believe a lot of it. But my goodness, when you watch this France team try and play on the same football pitch as Spain the last 3 times, it just makes you think, wow, France are good. France's talent factory is insane. France has some of the best players in the world, but there's levels to it. There are levels to this game, and Spain is the level. Spain is the standard, and everybody has to get to their level. Right now, no one looks close to it. I look at this tournament, 1 goal conceded all tournament long is just freakish. 1 goal. When all of the talk beforehand was about Unai Simon and whether he could play for this team and whether it should have been David Raya or John Garcia, he had a fantastic tournament. Today, the only times Argentina looked ever threatening was that long ball over the top. Messi almost got on the end of one, Alvarez, and Unai Simon, similar to the France game, is always there. He's that guy right there. Cubarsi and Laporte, again, magnificent. Pau Cubarsi, young player of the tournament, thoroughly deserved. After all of the criticism that he picked up throughout the season, It shows that you put defenders in setups where you can maximize their ability. Unlike Hansi Flick's setup, which at times can be a bit kamikaze defensively. This allows you to showcase your quality. Cubarsi this tournament looked so far ahead of his years. He looked so composed. He looked so good on the ball. He looked so good defensively. You would never think this guy's a teenager. In fact, if I had told you at the start of the tournament a Spain player would win Young Player of the Year, you would have said, oh, I'll put all my money in Yamal. But Cubarsi was by far and away the best young player at this tournament. And his elder statesman next to him, Laporte, untouchable. These two right here. If I'm Barcelona, I'm putting a call into Athletic Bilbao, or Athletic Club rather. I'm putting in a call right now and getting Laporte to the Camp Nou. It has to happen. These two as a partnership are next level. They are so good together. They complement each other so well. Laporte gives him a bit of that experience that Inigo gave him a few years back, but I think Laporte is even better than Inigo Martinez. I love the partnership that they had. The fullbacks, brilliant. Rodri and Ruiz, brilliant. Pedri coming off the bench today. Spain's substitutions were so good. Ferran with the winner. Nico Williams, inefficient, but also with the assist. Pedri, I thought Pedri came on today and put his best performance in a Spain shirt this tournament. This was the kind of game for him where you know you're going to literally just be playing in the opposition's half. You know the transition threat might not be there, where you might need a more of a Ruiz type. And you need quality. Pedri today showed the level. I thought he came on and had a huge impact on the game. You have to say, all three of them really had a good impact on this game. Nico, again, moments where you just want to pull your hair out. But man, the guy's getting in dangerous positions. The guy's getting behind his player. The guy's getting on the end of things. Probably should have had a goal too. I need to see how Nico Williams' goal today got disallowed. I'm in absolute shock as to why the referee didn't even go to VAR for that, right? I've really resisted falling into this Argentina rig talk because I don't believe in that stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I don't. But today, seriously, Paredes, how the guy lasted until the 120th minute without getting sent off is a minor miracle. And Enzo Fernandez, that was coming too. But how on earth did that Nico Williams goal not stand? No matter, because Ferran Torres, the ultimate super sub, the guy that sometimes gets lambasted at Barcelona for missing chances, this tournament hasn't really had a huge impact. Haven't seen him that much. But today, when that opportunity fell his way, boy, did he finish that chance. What a goal for Ferran Torres to put himself in the history books. And on my left, I'm not even just trying to sound like LeBron here. When he came on, even before he came on, I literally told my boy I was watching the game with, if anyone's going to win this for Spain, I feel like Ferran's going to come on and score. I promise you guys on my life, God strike me down if I'm lying, I said that. And he was the man for the occasion. You always feel in the World Cup, man, that it's someone you don't expect, whether it's a Gotza, whether it's, I don't know, a Grosso, Materazzi, like the World Cup final, I don't know, maybe last tournament is a little different, but it's always someone you never kind of expect. And I thought Ferran was going to come on and have an impact. And that's exactly what he did. Spain, a fantastic team, 1 through 26, and Luis de la Fuente, the legend of de la Fuente, continues to grow more and more and more. This guy has coached this team through every single level, from under 19s all the way to the senior team, and his coaching resume now consists of what? A World Cup, a Nations League, and a Euro. Sir Luis de la Fuente. Wow. Unbelievable. And just goes to show that, look, we always talk about the Tuchels and the Ancelottis and the Enriques when it comes to these guys making the jump up to international level. And we'll see Klopp at the next World Cup, and we might see Pep. But this World Cup final was contested between who? Luis Scaloni and Luis de la Fuente. And de la Fuente, what a fantastic coach. The way he has the Spain team performing is just nothing short of sensational. I'm going to speak a little bit more on Spain in a bit, but I want to talk about Argentina a little bit, right? I went into this game as a neutral. I don't really care who wins, to be honest with you. Once my teams go out, I just want to see good football. But I also like to see the best players. And for me, Messi, it doesn't get better than that. So going into this final, seeing what Messi had done all tournament long, I wanted to see Messi go out on a high. Ultimately, once I saw the way Argentina are playing, I could care less about Argentina. Honestly, Spain, they deserve to win that game. If Spain had lost this game, this would have been the biggest injustice or the biggest fumble of all time, right? Argentina were nowhere near it. But we need to talk about Argentina here, right? A few things happened today. First and foremost, let's be clear. They came up against a team that are just on a different level to them. Spain are younger. Spain are better tactically. Spain are better technically. Spain are better coached. Spain are just better, right? They're a better team, almost in every single regard. But we've seen teams come up against sides better than them and find ways of staying in the game. Argentina today were unable to do that because I think first and foremost, the lineup was wrong. Second of all, I think the approach from Scaloni was wrong. And third of all, I think his substitutions today were absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. Now, it's tough to really account for a guy like Lisandro Martinez getting injured right at the end of the first half. Because then Otamendi has to come on, and usually you want to save that substitute for later. Otamendi will come on, but with 20 minutes left or something like that, right? So all of a sudden you've wasted one sub. But then for me, it didn't make sense. He started with Nico Gonzalez today, who's actually made a great impact off the bench for games for Argentina. And I think his tactic was really to deploy Nico Gonzalez as almost a lob threat near Pedro Porro. They were just throwing long balls to him and using his height to try and win those first balls against Porro. But first and foremost, Nico Gonzalez is not a great player. And second of all, his impact that you do want to have against tired legs was nullified because he started the game. I didn't understand that one whatsoever. Secondly, the decision to take him off at halftime and then bring on Paredes. Again, bizarre to me. I thought Paredes probably should have started, but then in the second half, to go to Paredes and take off your only winger on the team, again, didn't make much sense to me. And then all of a sudden, Romero goes down and you have to bring on another center back, and then you're going to bring on Molina instead of Montiel, which is, for me, just a like-for-like substitution. And then all of a sudden, you made 5 substitutes. Like, it made no sense whatsoever. And then the Enzo thing absolutely killed them. I have a lot of respect for Scaloni. Over the last few years, I think he's coached this team better than anybody else could. But today, I have to be honest with you, I think he got everything he could wrong. Everything that could go wrong today for Argentina, from a tactical point of view, I felt did go wrong. And you have to look at the manager for that, right? They did not give Messi any opportunity to change this game. Let's be real. Messi, at his current age, is not going to pick up the ball from deep and dribble past 8 players and score or assist. He's a player in the final third that you give him the ball and he can make magic happen. But you have to get the ball up the pitch to him in positions where he can actually impact the game. And today, I'm sorry, the way they platformed Messi, I felt was all wrong. All wrong. And he was out of the game the entire time. The entire time until the last 5 minutes where he tried making things happen. But I don't know. For me, the game plan today from Argentina is just absolutely spot off. And the thing is, they were so bad technically and tactically that they started losing their heads. Honestly, Paredes and Enzo Fernandez today, those are 2 of the most disgraceful performances I have seen at this level. This was very reminiscent, in my opinion, of the Netherlands against Spain back in 2010, where Johan Cruyff, it got so bad for the Dutch that Johan Cruyff literally came out and condemned the performance on like national television, saying this is anti-Dutch. This has taken Dutch football back 20, 30 years. That's how bad it was. That's how aggressive and physical and nasty it was. Today from Argentina, it's the exact same thing. Swap out De Jong and Van Bommel for Enzo and Paredes. They had no intention of playing football today. And how Paredes has lasted that long, wow. But the fact that you didn't get to see Lautaro Martinez come on, who has been so good off the bench, just shows you that Scaloni's substitutes were all wrong today. At no point did he even have the chance to bring him on, and then even in extra time, you're throwing on another defender in Senesi. I don't know what the game plan was for Argentina in the second half, because in the first, fair enough, you got it wrong. But nothing he did actually got his team back in the game. And ultimately, the better team won. It's as simple as that. Argentina have had a great run. They've had a lot of comebacks. They've shown great spirit and mentality. But today, they came up against a far, far superior side. And honestly, I think the biggest loser today is Thomas Tuchel. Because you look at the way Argentina played in that game against Spain, and it's easy, I guess it's easy to say this, right? Because if it was so easy, they would have just beat Argentina. But England, I think, would have given Spain more problems than Argentina today. Argentina had no solution to Spain. None whatsoever. And I feel, again, that Tuchel sold that game. England probably should have been in that final against Spain. And who knows how it would have worked out? Spain might have won 3-0. I don't know. But wow, Argentina, they had no right to be on a footballing pitch with Spain today. And ultimately for Messi, you just have to be honest here, he didn't play a good final. He had a final where he was, for the most part, uninvolved, didn't touch the ball much, tried doing something towards the end, but for the most part, again, nullified by Spain. The guy could not get his game off. But I think it speaks to a larger picture here and kind of goes to what I really want to say about Messi and Argentina. This was, for all intents and purposes, a one-man show in attack. Argentina, we've talked about their mentality, their resilience, organized defensively. They got a great goalkeeper for tournaments. But going forward, it's literally all on one man. And when you look at this tournament, every single stat, offensively, Messi's #1 for Argentina. Take-ons, dribbles, passes, chances created, goals, assists, it's all him. So in a game like this, where he can't get his game off because of Spain, Argentina have no plan B whatsoever. And it led to, for me, the most embarrassing, worst performance by a finalist I have ever seen in my life. At least the Netherlands in 2010 had Robin with that one chance. Argentina, nothing. They couldn't even get out of their own half. And this is probably the last time Messi ever plays for Argentina. And it makes me think, when's the next time we see Argentina at this stage? The stage being the World Cup final, right? If this is done for Messi and Argentina, I think we won't see Argentina at a World Cup final for at least 50 years. I'm putting my neck out on the line here. I don't think you will see Argentina in a World Cup final for another 50 years. Because if you look at Argentinian football, right, you of course had Kempes and then Maradona that followed. And then a rut, right, between Maradona and Messi. And Messi took them to 3 World Cup finals. We look at Messi's international career, and of course the last few years it's exploded. But the guy took them to 3 World Cup finals. I'm not gonna lie, once Messi is gone, I look at this team and I really struggle to see where the next great generation comes from. And you can never account for that because who knows, another one might come up. And they had Maradona and they had Messi, so they might have a third. But those kinds of players, man, they're once in a lifetime. Really. The fact that they produced 2 of them in the space of 40 years is a miracle in its own right. But to do it a third time, I just don't count on it. And I truly believe you will not see Argentina in a World Cup final for the next 50 years. But at least for the foreseeable future, I'm talking the next 3 tournaments. Argentina, for me, are no longer a contender. They're no longer a team that going into this tournament that you think might do something. I think they will really disappear off the landscape of relevancy. Could they make a round of 16, maybe even a quarter? Maybe. But these stages where they're competing for honors, I think that goes when Messi goes. I do. And today's performance might be a scary indication of things to come. Because Argentina will always have spirit, they'll always have fight, they'll always have grinta, whatever they call it. But the level that Messi produced for this team this World Cup at 39 years old, and how incompetent they were without him basically holding their hands to wins, I'm concerned for them. I actually hope that Messi retired from the national team 4 years ago. And that's because I like seeing the best players go out on the top. I could never have imagined he would do what he did 4 years later, right? This has gone far beyond my expectations. But I do hope that this is the final game we see Messi play at a World Cup. Because I don't ever want to see Messi look like a scrub on the pitch. I don't ever want to see him look washed as hell. The fact that he's even taken it at 39 to this level is amazing. I want to see him call it a day. But I just want to say, man, what a career. What a career. What a player. And what a story. Imagine he had gotten a second. It would have been unbelievable. It wasn't to be. He came up against a far superior team. And that's how it works, man. That's how it works. But honestly, all I can say to Messi, thank you. Thank you for putting on the greatest show I have ever seen. Thank you for shining our TVs day in, day out, week in, week out, season in, season out. Thank you for making people dream. Thank you for wowing the world. And thank you for everything. That's it. That's all she wrote for Messi. Unbelievable career. Unbelievable player. Let's see what the story comes out in the next few days or weeks. I might have to make a separate video on Messi because I just think he's that one of one. But today, it's about Spain. It's about Spain. And we have to talk about the player of the tournament, Rodri. Now, I want to say 2 things, and stay with me here because I know people are going to be annoyed at what I say the first thing, but I want you to stay with me for the second. Do I think Rodri should have won player of the tournament? No, I don't. I don't think Rodri's tournament was better than Messi's. I think Rodri's team won the tournament, but that doesn't mean that he was the best player at the tournament. And how is that shown? By the history of the World Cup. Modric didn't win it in 2018, and he was player of the tournament. R9 didn't win it in 98, and he was player of the tournament. Zidane in 06, same story. We've seen it quite often. In this tournament, I think Rodri was brilliant. If I had to make my best players of the tournament, he'd be top 3, top 5 minimum. But number 1, I'm sorry. I don't think Rodri had a better tournament start to finish than Leo Messi. I don't. I think him winning it is a bit of winning bias. Now, do I think it's the biggest robbery ever? No, because I think Rodri had a great tournament. But me personally, I wouldn't have given him that award. That's just me. That's my first take. My second take. Rodri Hernandez Cascante, as my good friend Alessandro Rametti always says. Rodri, he's one of them. He's one of them. This guy is one of the greatest midfielders my eyes have ever seen. And today, I'm going to admit something I never thought I would say. Rodri is the greatest defensive midfielder my eyes have ever seen. Those are words I never thought would leave my mouth. I'm a Busquets truther. I will ride out for Busquets till the end. Busquets, one of the greatest players I've ever seen. I think revolutionized the position, played it with such a level of ability and class and composure. And honestly, his influence on the position probably transcends anybody's, right? But you probably have to look at Makelele in terms of influence. But I'm sorry, in terms of what we're seeing from the last 5 years of Rodri, and I always tell you guys, I'm a peak over longevity guy. Your best level matters to me more than how long you do it. And I think Rodri and the level he's reached now for 5 years, I think it's a higher level than Busquets did. That might be controversial for some people. It might be controversial that I said I don't think he should have won player of the tournament. But guys, Rodri was the best midfielder on a team that won the World Cup. Busquets has never done that. right? Busquets is an unbelievable defensive midfielder, and he was an unbelievable part of the greatest midfield three I've ever seen in my life. But Xavi and Iniesta were in that midfield. At no point would you have ever said Busquets runs that midfield. No, he did. Xavi ran that midfield, right? Xavi in 2010 was untouchable. Rodri is the heart of everything for Spain in a way that I don't know Busquets was at that level. I don't think Busquets was ever this influential defensively, offensively, on the ball, off the ball, build up, final third, as Rodri is. And for that reason, in my lifetime, I think I'm ready to take Rodri number one. Again, those are words I never thought I would say. But I'm an honest guy, man. Rodri now has won what Busquets did in his prime. He's won the treble. He's won the World Cup. He's won the Euros. He won the Ballon d'Or. He might win another one. He just won Player of the Tournament. He might win another one. I think the Ballon d'Or is another conversation because I think that's wide open. And that's not even to say Ballon d'Or is what takes him over Busquets, because it's not for me. But in terms of the level Rodri is hitting right now, I'm sorry, I have to be honest. Who do I prefer as a player? Probably Busquets. But who is the better player? Who would I want in my team? If I'm building the best Spanish midfield three that Spain have produced, I think Rodri has to go there, man. The guy's just captained his team to a World Cup, and this for me goes in a table of like great midfield World Cup performers in terms of like the engine room. Zidane is like a number 10 for me, so I won't even put him in this conversation. I'm looking at Kroos in 2014, Pirlo in 2006, Xavi in 2010, right? Like Modric in 2018. I genuinely think Rodri's tournament is of a similar ilk. The guy was the most influential player on the best team at the tournament. That says a lot. And again, that might sound, I don't know, hyperbolic compared to when I said he shouldn't win it. But personally, I just think, especially when you look at Argentina today, Messi taking this Argentina team to a World Cup final at 39, scoring and assisting at the rate he did, but literally doing everything for them from an offensive point of view, I just personally think, man, I don't think anyone touched that level this tournament. But that's not to say Rodri played at a scrub level. Rodri was unbelievable. And as I said, I think he has just entered a new conversation. He has. For me, the greatest defensive midfielder my two eyes have seen. Have your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your opinions. I'm sure a lot of people will push back on that. But yeah, this is an all-timer, man. I'm always someone that's hesitant to say what we're watching is the greatest we've ever seen, because I think people are too eager to say that. But sometimes you also just have to be honest and like be honest and say what you're seeing. And what we've seen from Rodri now, for him to do this after an ACL too, that's crazy. That's really, really crazy. And a lot of people said have the legs gone, and maybe he doesn't do as much as he did 2 years ago when he won the Ballon d'Or. And I called him the ultimate box-to-box, do-everything midfielder. I think now, especially this tournament, he was really the personification of a holding midfielder. But yeah, man, I just think he can do everything. In midfield, the guy is like, if you could design a holding midfielder, that's what it looks like. Strong, technically excellent, efficient, smart, composed, reads play, covers ground. Rodri's he's a different player, man. He's a different. Everything's just one touch, two touch with him, man. So good. Spain, man. You just have to hold your hands up and say congratulations and fully deserved. This is one of those performances that, just like in 2010, I think will really go on to mark another era of football. People will watch this Spain team and be inspired to coach kids like this. Kids will watch this Spain team and be inspired to play like them. Coaches will want to coach their teams like this. Teams will want to build their squads around them. Like, this is one of those influential wins that is so dominant that it goes on to mark the next few years of football. I saw it happen in 2010 with Spain, and we might be living through another golden generation for Spanish football. Congratulations to everyone involved with them. Commiserations to Argentina in one sense, because that's a heartbreaking loss for them. Messi in tears, that was sad to see, but fully deserved. Honestly, Argentina did not deserve to be anywhere near the trophy based on today's game. So congratulations to Spain. Let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. On a personal note, guys, I've had so much fun covering this tournament for you guys from start to finish. I feel like I covered almost every single game on this channel. I missed a few, but I tried my best. It's been a long season, guys. Start of the season to now, I am burnt out. I'm ready to go to London. Probably going to take a holiday too. And I can't lie, there might be a little break from videos for a week or so, just because I need to recharge ahead of the new season. But it's been an absolute joy to make this the first World Cup I ever cover on this tournament. And here's to more, man. Here's to more, and here's to going to more games, and here's to getting more access and taking this to the next thing more and more and more. And thank you guys for following me on this journey. All the cool stuff I can only do because of your guys' support. So from me to you guys, much love, man. Much love. Like, share, subscribe. Let's talk in the comment section down below. Give me your thoughts. I'm very interested in hearing them. And I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.